we're going to talk about a question that I get a lot, which is when should you use Kanban and when you should use Scrum? So there are many factors involved in this, but the shortest, simple answer is this one. So take into account Scrum, right? So you have here your product backlog, and then during the planning, we're going to decide, the team is going to decide what is going to be the sprint backlog. And then here you have the incremental product in the end. And we have this period of time here, which is called the sprint, which most of teams nowadays are making 2 weeks, right? And the thing is, during this sprint, we have here the sprint content, and the team, the development team, should be left alone during this period by business so they can do their best to provide the increment of product at the end of the sprint. So there is also a trade-off here to business, which is business, we will do our best to deliver what we have proposed ourselves to deliver during this sprint, but don't interrupt us. So take into account that some types of, some teams, due to their type of work, actually, they have to be ready to take on a regular basis emergencies and interruptions, right? So the most common example that comes to mind would be the SysOps or the operations teams, right? So instead of saying, okay, please leave us alone these 2 weeks, what Kanban does is you have different classes of service, which means you have here your workflow, and let's say you have here something which is a lane for a class of service that we call expedite, which has a work in progress limit of 1. And you have here your work in progress limits, etc. And your normal cards, they will circulate here. But if the criteria are met for emergency, like this expedite, we are already ready to take it with a different priority here. So we have already policies that allow us to deal with interruptions, if those interruptions are really urgent. In Scrum, we don't have that, right? So anything that would change the content of the sprint will disturb the sprint. So this is, I would say, the biggest difference between one and another. There are more, and we'll talk about that in our next video. See you then.